Hello, my name is Pat Berry, and I live in Yearling Court and will be moving out of Yearling Court in a matter of days because of the great work of Kathy and her team. I've asked to do this video because I wanted to talk about Kathy's approach to this particular condo, and how when she arrived, we were expecting, as I think most people who've sold a house expect, we had this expectation that someone was going to come into our house. I sold a big house, and they came in and they told me how much they loved it, how much they loved my decorations, my furniture, and particularly how much they loved my art. But by gosh, we know that the best way to sell houses is to take everything out, basically make it neutral in color and neutral in as little furniture as possible. What was very surprising to me as a result was when Kathy showed up. We're on the second floor, and she showed up, knocked on the door, came in, and literally took almost 8 minutes to get up the stairway. And she had a camera with her, and she literally was taking snaps of all of the art that we have in our foyer. And the foyer comes up, there's art on the sides, and not only was she taking shots, but I could tell that she was very interested. She was asking questions about particular pieces of art. And by the time she got to the top, it's a whole different experience, because when she gets upstairs, suddenly you're hit with this array of colors, this very dark gold and this very dark blue behind me, and of course lots of art. The art continues. And Kathy, after walking through and asking questions, we sat down to talk, and she was genuinely excited, and she said so, and she was genuinely excited, not because she said so, but because of the way she was responding and the questions that she was asking. I later found out that she had majored in art when she was in college, and it really showed. She had such an appreciation for the way this particular room, which has a 13-foot vault ceiling, how we had transformed it into almost a little jewel box that had different forms of art. A lot of this is Southwestern art. And what Kathy, I watched her as she sat at the table, and I watched her as she kept looking around. She kept looking and then noticing something. And there are a lot of things, although I must be honest and say that we had decluttered a lot of the art and taken it down. We wanted to have a little less to look at, but she kept looking at things and looking around, and she said, I never will forget, we kept waiting for, well, this is lovely, I love the art, I love the way you've got this thing painted, but it's not going to sell this way. We're going to have to get your stuff out, get our stuff in, paint it neutral. Instead, she said, I know that my staging team is going to think I'm crazy, or words to that effect. But I want to sell this property and to show this property just the way you've got it. I think it's just fabulous. And I don't know, she said she'd never done one like this, but she certainly had never done one like this in the area that we call the Lakeford area, and of course that's filled with a number of townhouses and condos just like this. And so that's exactly what we did. She said that her staging team would be coming by at some point and would look at things. And I have to give great credit to the team that Kathy's assembled. She has people who, in our case, were able to come in and move a pot, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches, or a lamp, or turn a light on, or turn a light off, making all the difference in the space and the effect that that room had. But despite what I was perceiving as maybe a little resistance on the part of some members of her team at different points, Kathy did what she said she was going to do. And the deal that we struck was, you've got show it and let's see, because it's so unusual, let's see what kind of a response you're going to get. And it was unbelievable. And when I talk about Kathy's staging team, I'm including the entire team. Her team that is involved with all of her publications, this is all before the property's ever listed. She is involved in sending out materials. Something's coming. She puts materials online and does a great job on that. But when Kathy was getting ready, and this was the day before we went, I guess the day before we went live, we were talking about different things right up till the very end. And the amount of material that her team had put together literally in a matter of days was very, very impressive. I mean, it was really quite amazing. So you had not only the website ready to go, you had handouts ready to go. You had the poster for outside, the sign, everything was ready to go. And as Kathy had hoped, the house went live on I think it was a Thursday morning, and there was an afternoon wine and cheese and a 2-hour open house. There was another open house on Sunday, and in between that time, we had a number of individuals come in and look at the property by themselves without Kathy, but just their own agent. And by the end of the day on Sunday, I guess the end of the day on Sunday or the beginning of the day on Monday, we had 5 offers. And all of which were over the list price. And that is what Kathy did for us. But I want to emphasize that when Kathy herself, there were 2 different videos that were posted, and our videographer, Amy, who's patiently videotaping me now, did one where it was just looking at walking in, walking up the stairs, looking at various rooms in the yard, this sort of thing that you see on most websites. Kathy does something differently. She does her own walkthrough. And when I saw her videotape, I was really astonished, because it was one take. And I mean, Kathy was outside. That day was a really pretty day. The wind was blowing. She looked great. She had her sunglasses on and a great outfit. And she introduced herself by her sign, and she began talking about the condo outside, which is interesting. Talking about the great features, and immediately she goes in and she starts describing this particular unit with passion. I mean, that's the word that comes to mind, because one could see that she was affected by the colors, by the difference of different materials that were present in different art objects throughout the room. And when she got upstairs, she pointed out that this 13-foot ceiling is simply amazing, and that what we have managed to do by using colors and by thinking about the unit in a different way, and really wanting to treat it as that little, I think it's a little jewel box. It's kind of a jewel box tree house, because we have a beautiful tree view outside. We have a little, and Kathy went through that whole process of talking about that and pointing to this, pointing to that, all from memory. She didn't have a note in front of her, and she really just knocked it out of the park. And at the end, she goes down and steps out front and invites people to come and look at it. And I always remember she kind of snaps her sunglasses down, and it was like, wow, 10 minutes, single take. And the reason that she was able to do that was because she makes a point of understanding not just her clients. She makes a point of really understanding where the clients live, how the clients live, what the clients are interested in, because she wants any of that is present to be appreciated by anyone watching that video. Our neighbor downstairs called me. He said, I couldn't believe that. Several people who saw the reference website and watched the video couldn't believe it when I told them that it was one take. I couldn't do one take, 10 minutes. I would certainly have a good editor like you, Amy, come in and splice it together. So, in summary, Kathy is someone who has done something, and I will say, I sold a very large house in McLean 14 years ago, and I had the experience that I described at the outset. We love what you've got, but we need to paint it all white, and we need to get your stuff out and bring in something that's neutral. And the fact that Kathy allowed me to have a totally different experience, one that I could only fantasize about, is something I'll always be grateful for, and always be grateful to her team for all the work that they did. I've gone on long enough, but I just want to make this final point. No matter what your taste, no matter what the condition of your property may be, there's one person that you ought to call, and that's CallCathy.